After I was arrested, everything that could have went wrong did go wrong. My mother hired a very reputable law firm. She saw on 60 Minutes, and then we ran out of money. I had to settle for a public defender that wound up turning out to be a nightmare. He did not go through any of my evidence. He never even told me how he was going to approach my defense. First day at trial, my attorney told them that this is nothing more than consensual sex. He proceeded to say, the only reason that I was there was because I was not aware or understanding of her mental status. Right there in the courtroom, I wrote down on a yellow pad to him, "What the blank are you doing?" He said, "I know what I'm doing."
4 weeks before my son's trial, the woman who attacked my son died of a drug overdose. On top of that, the woman told the nursing staff that nothing happened. That was never presented to the jury.
There was no DNA evidence in this case whatsoever, except for an old, degraded bodily fluid spore.
1 drop of bodily fluid would have millions of cells. The crime lab collected only 1.
Nothing was found on her clothes, nothing was found on the bed sheets, there was nothing found on her body.
There were 5 other males that took care of this woman prior to my son. The DNA sample that was collected was never checked against any other males except my son.
When they ran the DNA test on it, it didn't even match me. It was completely ridiculous. No case, no evidence, and I still wound up going to jail for something I didn't do.
Okay, you feel like he went to jail in large part because of this eyewitness testimony.
Absolutely.
And you feel like he's not a credible witness for a number of reasons. One, that his story changed.
Correct.
And
3 times.
And you think he's not a credible witness because of his history and background.
Our attorney explained to us that he had a history as an ex-felon. And our question was then, how did he start working at the hospital if he had to pass a federal background check if he's an ex-felon? Mm-hmm. And the jury was never told that either, that he had a past.
And how old are you?
I'm 42.
You're 42. And this conviction they're talking about, you were how old?
19, 20, going on 20.
It was a long time ago.
Yes.
I do have a question, though. Having been trained in forensic psychology and working a lot in the court system, I understand that eyewitness reports are probably the least reliable piece of evidence that you can find. Not because they have a bad intent, it's just they're just not very reliable. Let's see what we agree about. You agree his left leg was up on the bed?
I agree, correct.
Jamison, your left knee was up on the bed, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And these beds are against the wall.
Yes.
And so her head would be up towards the head of the bed.
Correct.
And if his, and this is not to scale, but if his left knee is up on the bed here, that means the angle of his body would be this way, correct?
Correct.
And you showed me, you used this as a reference, that you were at this angle right here, where you could kind of see this angle here?
Correct.
All right, that angle in this diagram would have to put you here in this eye line
Dr. Phil.
to be able to see the patient's head here if his crotch was here.
Can I come draw on that thing?
Please. You probably
This
draw
is
better than I can.
The straight line that I'm talking about, Dr. Phil, would be this line. And there is no curtain. The curtain's retracted. I see the whole room coming in.
If that's true, that line would be about here.
More or less.
If that's the case, and he's at an angle this direction, as you said, no, go back over there. Don't you follow me. If you're there where you said, how can you see around here to see what's going on?
Because I could see that his waistband was down, and I could see that she was crouched where his waistband was down.
From there?
Absolutely. She was sitting up.
Yeah. Yeah. How many fingers am I holding at my waistband?
Your fingers aren't as big as her head. Dr. Phil, I know what I saw.